Hey, Caitlin, it's Adam. Can you hear me? Hey, Caitlin, it's Adam. Can you hear me? Hey, Caitlin, it's Adam. Can you hear me? Hey, Caitlin, this is Adam. Can you hear me? Hey, Caitlin, this is Adam. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Does he need to share his screen or anything, or does he just need to be on call? I think he just needs to be on the call. Okay, we're good. Are you ready to report? Okay.
The attorney showed up, hey, we looked at the hearing, we noticed that the proceeding on the chair drive. It said the hearing will take place October, instead of notified, you got to leave in December.
We published notice twice.
Okay, so we're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, because the paper she's got is the hearing be October first, so I want to make sure.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Drafted the notice for the publication myself.
Perfect. Call the sanitary board to currently in order. Please do roll call.
President Turner
Here.
Vice President McLaughlin.
Here.
Governor Pearson.
Here. All right, consideration of the minutes for November fifth, 2025. Have I had a chance to review this? Yes. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November fifth, 2025. I second that motion. I have a motion and a second, any additional conversation. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. 3-0 passes. Any public comments? Public, you have any comment?
No, wait.
Okay. Finance report claims registered, just in timely fashion. Has anybody had a chance to review that? Yes.
Did notice a lot of the Russell excavating, the repairs is done. They don't, I didn't look at the report, but Jim's still falling apart.
Yes, it's just being proactive, making sure nothing safety issues or any kind of cave-ins happen. What we should have done.
What's he doing out there primarily?
He's installing some braces, like reinforcement bracing in there. And then air drops, making sure we're in the proper aeration, because those are kind of corroded and falling off some of them. And then there's a tank wall that's kind of warped and cracked a little bit, just repairing that as well. Just making sure there's no catastrophic failures.
Haven't done anything catastrophic in this.
No.
Good. Why are you trying to put it through and keep it going?
Yes.
Any idea, any estimates, Cameron, how long will keep that going?
Yeah, we're not gonna handle it, but yeah, everywhere.
That's right, good, thank you. I just wanted to make sure we had any big brick walls there.
No.
Okay, good, 3 more months, good news.
Yeah.
Back to the claims register, there were, I don't know, 2 to 4, invoices from, Butler Care and Surgery. Guess that's natural, that's just against the PO we have with them.
Yeah.
We're trying to, by the end of the year, of course. That's what we're all there. Yeah. So I make a motion that we approve the claims register from, I believe this is from November,
Yes.
in the total amount of $132,351.88.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. 3-0, opposed nay, 3-0 pass. Operations update, Jim Sanitary, please.
Just, the government plant is the staff swept and mopped, front office and lab, front contractor. Miller Eats installed a new heat backup power supply from that. The plant is running well. The gym plant, we had, Xylem install new, pump for the Stonehenge lift station. And the pumps for the plants running fine.
Okay. I have a question, so, kind of light this month, not on the updates, but, the plan is running well, so that, is that normal?
Yes,
Well, I like-
normally it's,
Yeah,
it's, it's in compliance.
Okay.
You know,
so if you could, if that statement could be something of that order, this plan is running normal and it's satisfactory.
Yes.
All operations are satisfactory.
Just, switch it up from what you're used to have.
That's what I got. Wording's important to me because running well doesn't mean that it's compliant or it's satisfactory. Those have meaning, so thank you.
I can do that.
Okay. Any more, operations updates, or good?
Okay, well, we did, this week, we had, 2 transformers installed, so AES did their main, transformer at the plant, so we did like a partial shutdown. Ran off the generator yesterday, basically all day, and then again today, we did, our plant's generator, or transformer was installed, and then we ran off generators today as well, and that seemed to go good, very good. Everything's back to normal as of right now.
So we've had a lot of rain and snow, any additional influence coming in, is it?
Yeah, a little bit, but nothing too crazy. When it snows like this, it's kind of just slowly trickles in instead of just all at once.
Right, okay.
All right, old business. Sanitary sewer project update.
All right, added planes. Cody alluded to, the new transformer, the main transformer was set, sounds like 30 minutes ago. They just finished that up. ADS Basin 1 equipment is finished, they're starting on ADS Basin 2 right now. Headworks, all the concrete's up, but just been painting it, get equipment set, and ADOC is going in right now. Really coming together. On the collections, we're still putting in force main right now. As I alluded to, all that work will be done, hopefully the next month. We'll do some, pressure testing, get the force main attached, the pumps are up, and start talking about more jet ignition. So item does require a closure claim. That was submitted, I think it was earlier this week. So, they've got it in their hands. Does not happen very often. I talked to their office lady. She used to do inspections. She actually inspect, the gym plant.
So she's familiar with it.
She is. I said, you're probably not familiar with what we're doing, because it's like, I know this is the package plant in the pole barn. So, and
It's already twin, right?
yeah, it was so weird. But as a dad, we don't do closure every day. It's like, I haven't seen one in like 4 or 5 years of closure plan. So not something that happens every day. So, we're putting a plan together. We're gonna have some contingencies in place just to make sure we've got a backup plan. Just because of the condition of that plant is, concerning, especially when we start.
Really, more than we take it down.
Exactly, so we started taking off some of that pressure on the walls. I'm worried about it's gonna buckle inward, so. Yeah, it'll be all hands on deck when that happens. Yeah, I think Jordan Church is supposed to start early spring. I think March is the time frame I got for that, and then the interceptor work is looking, around May. For that work. So, moving along.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. You sent over the buy sheets. I did, yes, thank you. So we did have a big influx, I believe it's from October buy sheet, we had some buyout savings for the UV system. We had about $80,000 I added to the plant side. So we got $100,000 of buyout savings at this point. Bowen did bring home a roofer, because we're looking at potentially reroofing some of the older buildings, because those likely haven't been touched since the plant was done in 2002. Those prices came in pretty high, like $60,000 to $80,000 per building. So I don't know that we'll back that right now. But yeah, buyout still trending upward. On that sheet, looks like the, for Cumberland, there was on the contingency, looks like there was 415,000 taken out of the contingency, and then a savings of 104,000. Correct. Down below is kind of a summary. Yep. Construction contingency is a little over 2 million. Is that what's left over? Or do we have to take that 415 minus 104 out of the 2 million? Yeah, so you got your starting balance of 2.03, you got a, yeah, the report. That's a starting balance. That's correct. Okay, so it's about.
So that whole list is indemnity from that 2 million.
Correct. So we have about 1.7 million.
That's
correct. Okay. And just as the way that Bowen typically does it is they will put a lot of stuff towards contingency that were out of scope items early on in the project, just to make sure that they are going to track savings, and then towards the end as well. Savings start to escalate from buyout and from labor. Yeah, totally. They're being conservative. Correct. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, are we out of the dirt yet? We out of the ground?
Most of it, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mostly, you've got some of your accessory structures on the west side that they're still coming vertical with the walls. We've got some underground piping stuff to do before they really button it up and start penetrating.
Okay.
I guess we'll probably wait until we get into spring-ish, because the ground really wetting.
Right, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I just know that, get out of the ground, then you have a better idea of what is left to do and what your costs are.
Yeah, I would say most of the unknowns happened whenever we started digging out for that tank. We started finding some construction debris and stuff from the last time. So a lot of the big unknown stuff, I would say we probably already counted.
Great.
Yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Good, thanks.
All right, next item is consideration of the 2026 sanitary budget. Everybody has stated had a chance to review that. Adam, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you all so much. Can you hear me?
I'm here. No. Huh?
No?
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, sounds good. We're gonna get in a doom loop there. Otherwise, hey, first off, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I personally am still recovering from the weight that I personally gained. What you have before you, this is the draft budgets. We've provided a few comments and recommendations to staff. Happy to talk through some of those edits just to make sure they're consistent with the other utilities. Otherwise, what is drafted is, in both cases, positive net cash flow at the operating level that then could either be used to build reserves or fund future replacement reserves. In either case, they are consistent with the rate studies that were approved by council. Fully fund the bonds, fully fund the operating cost as well that were proposed. With respect to the various attachments you have, there are 4 separate pages. There are 2 for each of the main kind of utilities that then combine into the overarching sanitary utility. So the one is the Cumberland sewer. The other 2 pages are the Gym sewer. Each of those separate, the first page of each is the operating fund. That is the main fund where the customer revenues, actual cash collections come in. That fund is primarily for the purpose of paying operating costs, salaries, supplies, operational costs of the utility. Any net operating income from that fund then can flow to the second page, which is the bond and interest funds for any debt outstanding, as well as then any depreciation or future capital improvements. Depreciation in this case is really a reserve for future replacements. And each utility, both on the Cumberland and the Gym side, each follow that same sort of structure. So as mentioned, we have provided some feedback to staff. I'm happy to talk through those now. Otherwise, I know that what you have before you is up for consideration this evening.
Oh,
Well, I do, Adam. So this is Bill. Could you go over the depreciation sheet for me and us?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually the feedback we shared as well. So, from let's start with the operating fund. With the utilities, the best practice with budgeting is they follow what's called a flow of funds methodology. So again, the money, the revenues of the utility flow in through the operating fund. And the idea here, the intention is, first things first, we want to maintain operations of the utility. So the first dollars in have a priority to maintaining operations and maintenance, ensuring that the utility is able to execute its daily operations. So at the very bottom of the first page of each, there's a specific sort of net cash flow or net operating income, net revenue that is available. So for Cumberland, that is $103,272. And for Gyms, that is $54,070 on a budgetary basis. Those amounts are available to then be either kept in the operating fund, essentially build the reserves of the operating fund, or they could be added and essentially transferred to the depreciation fund. So the depreciation fund, to answer your question specifically, is it essentially an improvement and a capital outlay fund of the utility. So the intention there is that it builds up reserves separate from the day-to-day operations to be able to cash fund what's capital projects, improvements, breaks, fixes, those types of things that come up and that are large in nature, so that the utility can pay cash for those, not have to suddenly issue bonds, as well as just be able to replace and maintain the utilities. So the recommendation we had was to go ahead and balance out the operating funds across the Cumberland and the gym budgets. So that would be essentially transferring out $103,272 from the Cumberland operating fund and moving that to the depreciation fund for that specific aspect. And then on the gym side, doing essentially the same, but in this case, taking the net revenue of gym of $54,070 and transferring that to depreciation, so that at the operating funds, they are balanced. They are a balanced budget. And the excess revenues there are systematically being moved over, saved for a future capital improvement or investment in the utility. Does that make more sense?
It does make sense, because in the past, we've always had a excess in the operating budget because of cash that funds that we have in reserve. So what we're doing in the future is putting that into this depreciation fund.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Yeah, and it's a really good sign. There's two things here that are healthy. One is you have positive cash flow being expected to be able to be transferred depreciation above and beyond debt service, and then additionally, it's a great sign that the utility is able to set money aside, build up those depreciation reserves, so that inevitably when this infrastructure breaks down or needs to be replaced, you're not in you have more reserves to be able to reinvest without having to issue new debt.
Thank you. So what you just told us, have you written that down, and the staff have those notes?
Yes.
So in the future, if this question comes up, you're not around, we can read that one page and we have a clear idea of what we looked at in the budget, what we approved, not what we approved budget-wise, but the formatting.
Yes, absolutely. All this has been shared, and we'll follow up with staff. And if whatever you all decide to do tonight, as far as at the board level, we can make sure to kind of make sure that the staff is made aware of your preferences, and we'll make sure it all gets documented accordingly.
Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions on the budget? Yep. Sir?
I know, Adam, you said you were going to explain the feedback, but then you said that was the feedback. Was there any other feedback?
Yeah, that is it. The only other thing that I had for funds 609 and 799, I would recommend that we balance those out as well. So, for example, those are the bond related funds. So they have had quite a bit of interest earned, 585,000 to be specific. And I would recommend to the utility and staff to just go ahead and kind of add a budget in for capital equipment. I know there's plans to eventually utilize that money. I mean, those dollars were generated from construction bond proceeds, so it'll ultimately go to capital of some nature. So that was the only other item I had. But yeah, we'll make sure to get all of these. Make sure staff edits accordingly based on whatever you all take action on.
Yeah, Adam, I believe, and Cameron's here, I believe a decent amount of that interest, that's what was spent on that truck.
That's right, and that was the intention of why I think it just makes sense to go ahead and let the budget go ahead and mirror and reflect that.
That's a 55. I think you had over $1 million approved at least a couple months ago.
That works. There is a capital expenditure on the way that we're having to do.
Very heavy one.
You already did that.
I would just add one more thing. To the extent, I don't know if the intention is to kind of approve these tonight or kind of carry them forward to your next meeting, I'll defer to staff and council on that. But what I would say is if you'd like the versions that you all approve to reflect those sort of suggestions and comments that we have provided to staff, I would just, include in your motion that, it's approved subject to those edits being made.
Okay, I agree also. So there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve, this draft budget as presented for gym operating, outlet operating, and, along with the depreciation form. As long as the subject to edits being included in the final budget.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 3-0 ayes have it. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, thank you all. Just real quick, we'll make sure to communicate all that and get the final versions. We'll make sure you all get a future copy of that as well for your records. And then just as a friendly reminder, these will all get loaded into the town's accounting system as adopted. And that will be the base budget for 2026. The budget does not really authorize any spending per se. So all future contracts, capital decisions, all that will still come back before you. This is really just a guidepost for essentially how much spending can occur before they have to come back to you for any sort of additional changes. And it sets the sort of original estimates for 2026 that the utility will operate against. So we'll plan to, at the very least, come back in April or so and do a Q1 kind of budget review with you all. In the meantime, if there are any questions whatsoever, please just shoot me an email or give me a call. We're happy to help. Otherwise, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, and I appreciate you letting me jump on tonight.
I'm sorry, I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Gym will be decommissioned, so will these be combined at Q1 after gym is decommissioned, or will it be in 2027?
Yeah, I think at that point, it probably makes the most sense to just do it in 27. We'll operate everything because the funds are actually separate. So we'll get into 2027, we'll combine the funds. So by 2027, you would be seeing essentially 2 pages, not 4.
Perfect. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody. If you need anything else, just shoot me an email.
Thanks, Adam. And
Thanks.
while we approve this for the sanitary sewer board, this really goes to the town council for final approval.
That's right. We'll make sure the final draft includes your edits, and then it'll go to the fiscal body for final approval.
Good.
Okay, very good. Thanks, everyone.
Adam. All right, back from update, sorry, so you need to see the case there.
Yeah, we received the back truck on November 19th, did like a 2-day training session, made sure everything was functioning correctly. Did a demo with some of the town staff. It's been several years, street department and the climate control garage right now. Been great so far. We have some projects lined up for it in the near future.
Will you have a crew that can do it, or you
Yeah.
have multiple people available that you can send them out?
Yeah, we got myself, Ed, and Kurt are all CDL B classified license, so all of us can run it. Ed's got the most experience. He's got like 25 years of back truck experience, but he's the one kind of ran it through all of its functions and make sure it was what we, everything was great.
So that's yours.
Yeah.
They just have those sitting on the shelf. We didn't prove that one. I didn't realize we were gonna get it that quick.
One with her name on it.
Yeah.
Is it identified as Cumberland? Does it have signage on it?
Not yet, we're gonna get that on there. I plan on getting like a seal or something. I thought I'd be there.
Are you doing some cross training that we're trying to get other people up to speed on?
Yes, Ed's gonna train me and Kurt and Laura on it. So we have some more availability to run the back truck. No.
Yeah, good. God bless you. I appreciate that. New business consideration of supplemental agreement number 4. Yeah, Nancy's gonna tell us what's more of it.
No, actually, this is the best kind of supplemental.
It's a refund, isn't it?
25,000.
It's a refund, it was very, trust me.
Merry Christmas.
They're not as bad as it's heard this close.
So, as I alluded to, we had some savings on the project. So as we started to look at some additional scope items, we have created kind of a new phase on value engineering. Basically gives us an hourly pot of money to look at the new scope items. So for example, when we did the back truck, we had to go through that for ad, amend the DER, public notice that go through that approval. The back truck's fairly simple. We don't need environmental approval. Not, the right kind of country to do that truck. However, we do want to look at some other things. Probably the main thing we want to look at is digest improvements. I don't know if we'll be able to fund it with, savings and contingency at the end of this project. But I would like to know what it looks like as a plan if we do pursue it. It's going to have to happen eventually. Especially as we're contemplating maintenance building. I know they're looking at maybe putting it out there, so we'll make sure that we have a spot for the digester before that spot gets taken. So as I alluded to, this is a no cost change order, so the way we were tracking with inspection, we had funds available. I don't think we're going to exhaust those funds. We're going to pull money out of the inspection to create a base to do this work. And again, it's just for new scope items that get added to the project. For us to evaluate and coordinate that sort of. So, and it's hourly, so it's only as needed.
As needed.
With it not to exceed the 25,000.
Correct.
How do you determine what to investigate, just off of your
So we
experience and expertise here?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the plant specifically, we touched every single component of the plant besides digester. And the digester was the one thing I didn't comment on is, hey, why aren't we doing digester? Capacity wise, it looked like you guys can handle that up for humidity. Condition wise, I don't know that they're getting a lot of digestion currently on the digester. And it's an old tank, it's an old clarifier they use back plant for it. So something's gonna have to happen to it eventually, so that was kind of, check box on.
Yeah, you at least have this feasibility study for the future, if it doesn't happen.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And we know how big it's going to be. We know exactly approximately where it's going to go. That way that we're not eating up ground with something else. And that's really my concern. Is let's not get away about because that site is pretty tight.
Speaking of that, is this fund, you investigating buying adjacent land, I know that's thrown out at the point, or is that not in your plan?
I
I don't know.
We do, but right, we do acquisition, right away acquisition. If that is an option, and again, Bowen was able to lease a pretty significant piece of land where their trailer or stuff like that. So if he hasn't needed it for 2 years, that would be good.
Right.
We could certainly help pursue that if that is what you guys, would like us to do, just to see what the answer is, and would you be open? And it's not a bad idea, because it's not getting any cheaper.
Yeah, that, and not make more of it, especially around there.
Right, really isn't anywhere else for you guys to go. You got Buckner to south, you have a road to the east. And then you got a big warehouse in the north.
This future state probably will all wrong, but
You'll need a truck with,
yeah, exactly, right.
or you put the maintenance garage up there on top of the hill. And not down where the digest.
I brought that up on our tour.
You did. You were very coordinated.
Cameron Bush, I just checked.
That's right,
It's like I'm sitting there, no one to build next to, this is our chance to do something.
No, I can.
I like,
So, yeah, this other one agreement, yeah, it's just the deduct construction inspection by 25,000 and add a new base for value.
So how will those hours be, captured?
It's all hourly, so typically, and I don't know what comes through our invoicing, but we'll put common pays. We're evaluating sometimes.
Okay, so against appendix B, section A, or.
Correct. Yep.
So. Because we won't see it at our level, it'll all be in one invoice, we just approve, we don't see,
A lot of more detail.
yeah.
Yeah, and also we come to these, so like, if we do start looking at something like the digester or some other stuff, you guys are aware. Yeah.
I like it. So,
And the goal to spend the, whatever it ends up, 1.7 million, whatever that ends up, the goal to spend that, or what happens, you know?
What's 1.7?
Well, the leftover contingency is the number I'm talking about right now.
I'm assuming you got Bowen here, you've already paid them their fixed fee on the total contract amount.
Yeah.
I would use it by their employees, so let's find project.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, so you don't have to use it, you could give it back, to save, pay down your bond, if you wanted to do that. But you guys are using money in there, project you guys.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd ever ready for you where they would give it fund back. But you guys do have a plan, that's where everyone wants to spend if they don't like projects to the out for a year. Right, because that has happened. With that a lot of 7 years, but have it all spent, so.
Thank you. You ready for the motion? I make a motion that we, approve this, supplemental agreement number 4, for the FNS for value engineering in, that will be billed hourly with a not to exceed of $25,000.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, 3-0. Any board member comments, additional comments?
No, thank you for the update.
Yeah.
Keep working, keep working,
Yeah, absolutely.
keep making the improvements.
Caitlin, what future, or Cameron, what future agenda items do you have coming for us? I don't know if we meet in January or not, we'll see how that looks, but what future agenda items do you have?
Karen's gonna tell us what they're investigating.
And that's part of that, I said something today, it's still on staff to do, but, we have been working for a while to do sanitary sewer master plan and the asset management plan agreement. Primarily because you guys have done good work at the plant, we also have a collection system. Where we've seen a lot of growth, we want to make sure that we're growing in the right way, we know where future interceptors are gonna go, or lift stations are gonna go, how to eliminate existing lift stations. Want to be very forward thinking, especially now that you guys are. So if you guys start televising the addition of some sewers, see what needs line, start tackling some I from the old part down, which is just been notorious for a lot of areas. So, on the thunder side of view, they just got it, I mean, it also has a decent sized GIS component. I think that was a big push from staff, was that it was trying to capture all of the GIS with it. With us and just get publishing once and then forgot about it.
So then a project update.
Okay, the motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
So. You know, what we did January, just so we